hope to prepare 3 videos to discuss about distributive justice. So this is considered part 1. Justice is one important aspect of morality. It relates to the notions of concept like fairness, equality, desert, meaning do you deserve something or not, and rights. So economic, or sometimes also called economic justice or distributive justice, concerns the principle appropriate for assessing society's distribution of social benefits and burden. So we are concerned about in society, how are these benefits being distributed? How are the burdens being distributed? Usually the benefits would be in terms of benefits like income, like opportunities, like services. Burdens are usually in the form of taxation. So this distributive justice concern about wealth, distribution of wealth, distribution of income, distribution of status and power as well in society. So we are going to learn 3 basic theories about how the distribution of benefits and burden in society is being done. So the first theory has to do with the utilitarian theory of wealth principle. Basically, the distribution of wealth, welfare principle, the distribution of wealth in society is distributed based on utilitarian principle. If you remember utilitarianism, the theories argues that maximization of happiness ultimately determine what is just and unjust in society. So similarly, if you look at how wealth and burden are distributed in society, we ask the question from a utilitarian perspective. Does this distribution maximize happiness? So utilitarians must examine a number of factual issues in order to determine for themselves which economic system and principles will best promote social well-being or happiness. So there is no prescribed guideline to any specific principle that or system, economic system that they want to support. The utilitarian will say that let's look at the facts, let the facts and figures determine what are the costs and benefits. Of course, the utilitarians will want to maximize benefit to the majority. So in general, we can say only that the utilitarians will favor increased workers' participation in society and also for a more equal distribution of income in society. So let's have an example of how this is being applied in answering these 3 questions. The first question is it just to sell broken TV sets without saying they are broken? So from a utilitarian perspective, they will say no, it's not just, because doing so would benefit the seller, who is a few, maybe 1 or 2, but not the buyers, because the buyers will be many. There will be many people buying the broken TV sets. It will cause more harm than benefit. It will benefit a few, but it will harm a lot. They are likely to be deceived and lose money as a result. The benefit of the few don't justify even greater harm done to others. There might have been a time when buyer beware was the best policy. Buyer beware was this principle that say in the early days, when you buy something, be careful what you buy. It is your own responsibility. But now we say assessing the quality of product require expertise that buyers can't be reasonably required to have. Meaning, some products are so specialized that their specification has to be predetermined, whether they qualify in terms of meeting certain quality level. Some things like medicine, things like drugs, prescribed drugs, and specialized equipment. So they should meet certain standard before they're being sold. So this kind of information ought to be published, labeled properly. For example, tin canned food, soft drinks, and so on, all will be labeled properly in terms of their composition. So we say that no, selling of a broken TV will not be just. Second question is it just for government to stop businesses from polluting? So the utilitarian will say sometimes yes, because pollution is often beneficial to the buyer and seller, but it can harm many other parties. Let's look at the facts first. If you look at it from this perspective, the seller who does not treat their pollution before expose it to the environment will be able to save some money because they did not treat this pollution that costs money, you see. Because they save some money, they will sell a product cheaper to the buyer. But the pollution, when you expose this to the environment, it may cause damage to other people, cause someone else hundreds of dollars of damage if they get sick from the pollution. So the social cost is being, this is what we learn as externalities. These externalities, social cost is not being internalized. So as a result, the product only result in some saving for the seller and buyer, but there is a high social cost on other people. The benefits of the field don't outweigh greater costs. Others were likely to suffer due to the pollution. So government might need to limit the amount companies are allowed to pollute to keep similar situations from recurring. So they favor some kind of government intervention to limit pollution. So in the third case, in the third application, we ask the question, is redistribution of wealth just? Should we redistribute wealth, take some money from the rich, tax them, and redistribute to the poor? For the utilitarian, they say yes, some redistribution of wealth is just and is likely to be just. So the redistribution of wealth commonly occur when government tax some people, especially the rich, to give benefits to others, to give to those who are poorer. So benefits incur, the benefits that the government tax to give to the poor, because the poor will not be able to afford the kind of services like, for example, fire department, police department, library, welfare, public education, even things like hospital and so on. So the reason redistribution can be just is because the harm done to the field, taxing the very rich in the form of tax, can be even more good for many others, especially the very poor who cannot afford private education, private medical services. Furthermore, if we look at this scenario, the good is likely to outweigh the harm because this is justified by this marginal utility of money curve. This is the marginal utility of money curve. The amount of good each dollar will do for you decreases as you attain wealth. Now, what you should understand by this is that if you are very poor, for example, you're earning $10, let's say per hour, and your boss increase your hourly rate to $20 an hour. So you will find that in this marginal utility of money curve, your increase in happiness is quite high. It's 5 units, for example, 5 units of utility, which is your happiness. But if you are quite rich, for example, you're earning $70 an hour, and your boss increase your salary by $10. Your increase in utility, happiness, you're already earning 70, now you're getting 80. Can you see that your increase in utility is less? It's only 1 unit. This is because when you have very little, you add another 10, right? It's double your income, isn't it? For the very poor, a very little will mean a lot to them. For those who are richer, you add the same amount, it means very little because they are already quite rich. So conversely, if you tax the rich, the person who is rich here, you tax from $80 to $10, you tax and you give this to the poor, can you see that you are actually increasing utility? The harm done is only 1 unit. The increase in utility here is 5. So the net outcome is 4 unit increase. Can you see that this actually maximizes happiness? So from the utilitarian perspective, it is right to tax the rich and distribute this benefit to the poor. So the amount of good each dollar will do for you decreases as you attain wealth. The wealth get much less benefit out of each dollar. The wealthy get much less benefit from each dollar their own than the poor, who need money for their basic needs rather than luxuries. So utilitarian will say that it is right to tax the rich, distribute to the poor, as far as possible, as long as the scenario maximizes happiness in society. That is the right distribution.